So, welcome to Lethally Stupid. This intro is completely ruined. It's just like the podcast because none of us had a good idea for an introduction.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking maybe I'll just leave all that in.
Just hashing out the whole thing. Yeah.
Cold open, yes.
Yeah, cold open. So,
Let's most of it in.
What are we talking about first tonight?
One thing I wanted to talk about, I saw an amazing movie recently.
What was
Coltin knows what I'm talking about.
I do.
We went and saw an Indian movie, an indie film, or not really an indie film, but indie as in Indian.
Okay.
Hindu,
Wait, okay, so
Telugu, you know.
Indian film.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, not indie because
oh.
their director, the way Coltin described it to me, was a like mix between Michael Bay and Steven Spielberg. It's like India's version of that.
Well, that's what the journalists in India describe him as.
Yeah.
So.
All right then.
It's called RRR. And
It's like 3 R's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like a 3.5-hour movie, I think.
Holy shit.
It's very long. It's very amazing.
The whole movie was great and hilarious, but I mean, we laughed the entire way through. So we're saying watch the movie. That's pretty much what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Because it's on Netflix, I know. So if you have Netflix, if you don't, pirate it, whatever.
I'm gonna need some more information.
Well, it's set in the 1920s, I believe. It's about the beginning of the movie is a girl gets kidnapped, and someone from her village has to go get her back. It's the British Empire who like kidnaps her because she can like paint really well, and they kind of just take her because they do whatever they want. And a guy who works for the military, another Indian dude, is trying to stop this guy from taking her because they get inside information.
Gotcha. This is sounding hilarious. Sounds
Like a little heist thing going on.
Yeah, and
conspiracy.
they end up, not knowing exactly who each other are, but meeting and becoming bros. It's
Okay.
great.
So is this supposed to be a comedy, or is it just like that ridiculous?
No. So basically it's a hardcore drama. So it starts off and like the British Empire is like at war with the Indians in these villages, and they're coming in to take over India. This is like based on true events, but it's not a true story. It's a comedy that's based on true events, but it's a dramedy. Really is what it is. So anyway, they kidnap a girl from a village because she can tattoo into people and can stay there, and that's very like unique because it's the 1920s. So they take her. There's your drama, and like a guy from the village goes to get her back. And this guy's like ripped and he's like intense. There's more drama into it. And it's very serious. The movie's very serious about all this.
But we're laughing the entire time.
We're laughing the entire time because we work with a bunch of Indian men, and these are not the Indian men we work with.
The truck drivers and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They're buddies.
They're buddies. And we're rooting for our new buddy. So anyway, what's going on is there's drama there. But then that's one guy. That's the focus. There's two main focuses. There's this guy and then another guy who works for the British Empire. And he's just a badass, but he's also this Indian dude. I'm talking, he is so anti-Indian for being Indian, it makes no sense. One Indian guy like says like fuck Britain or something like that, and this British colonial guy's like arrest that man, and our Indian guy named Ramu is like I'm gonna go get this guy. So he hops over like a 25-foot fence. They go so over the top, they don't give a shit. This man can leap fences, he can kill lions, he can do whatever he wants with his bare hands.
Yeah, he jumps on like one wagon and jumps completely over
Oh
the
dude,
fence.
so he takes his bamboo cane,
also,
goes out there.
Hundreds of people.
Oh no, I'm
surrounding
hundreds.
those small
He
base.
starts beating the shit out of at least 100, 200, 300 Indians with a bamboo cane. This thing doesn't break. I don't know what it's made out of.
Well, probably just bamboo.
I
So
think
that's insane.
maybe titanium. All right? He doesn't stop beating the shit out of other Indians.
Just to get to this guy.
He goes ultra instinct. Like they jump on him. They almost crush him. I don't know how they don't because there's so many on him. He just rips them off. Like, the movie, like they don't care about realism whatsoever. But he just keeps fucking whacking. And eventually he gets that guy, just chucks him over the fence. And there's your other character. But anyway, these two people eventually meet and fall in love. And
he saw a review that he told me that was like, I've never seen two straight men be so gay for one.
Oh yeah, it's like I've never seen two. non-homosexual men so in love.
Yeah,
is
that's
what the
what it was.
guy wrote the
Yeah.
review about, and it's incredible. So you just got to see the love they have for each other.
We can't even explain how
And
good this movie is.
It is. It's so good. And they do like a montage of them falling in love for at least 6 minutes. Like
it's such a bromance fucking
over the
montage.
course of like 6 months, you get to see this love just come together. And anyway, you keep going and you keep going and you keep going, and eventually they're against each other because obviously he's for the British, he's for the Indians, and he's looking for this little girl from his village, and he knows where she is. And I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but some shit happens. And this is only like everything I've just described. That's like the first 45 minutes. That's the opening.
Yeah.
The opening is the first 45 minutes.
Then-
You don't even know what's going on. You see like R here after like 20 minutes, and you see like another piece of an R here, and then like another 40 minutes later, you see RRR, and that's the fucking opening. The opening is literally 45 minutes long.
Yeah, then meeting is the end of the intro, which is about 45 minutes in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
And we don't make
rambled.
movies like that in America.
No, we don't. But it's so over the top. It's
We gotta
hilarious.
over-explain things.
Yes,
you know,
no,
it
we
has to be a
don't.
reason why
Like,
stuff can
literally,
work.
they are. It shows the guy beating the shit out of people first
Mhm.
after the girl's kidnapped. Like when all the people they like shake this fence and it almost collapses, and all the other British soldiers like fall backwards in fear. Except Ramu, he's standing there. He doesn't fall backwards.
He's got
Like,
the
oh,
greatest
he's a badass.
mustache I've ever seen.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the raw movie you said was the one kicking ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so, like-
and the other one, we watch him run from a tiger and capture the tiger by like holding ropes when it gets caught in a net to hold it together, and it's like in his face before it actually gets to him. He's holding it back with these ropes that have its feet that are wrapped around these trees, and he like roars back in its face. It's like,
Do they?
fuck yeah.
Do they at least like physically look like they'd be able to pull this?
Oh my god, they're the most
Yeah.
ripped human beings you've ever seen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You want to be them.
Oh, okay.
But I'd say the guy who fought the tiger, he does have some chub on him, but he has, he is a big dude.
It's like the
he's-
gladiator chub,
yeah,
though.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other guy, Ramu, he's like fucking peak physical human shape. Like,
Yeah. You know his dick is huge.
But just the opening music when it's zooming in on the village, like I had to cover my mouth because I was laughing so hard just from the music. Like there was tears running down my face.
It's like hardcore Indian
And-
rap.
So so I'm assuming one of the R's is for Ramu.
Okay. What it actually ends up being when Ramu is introduced after that's over, it says the fire, and the R is in fire, and a bunch of fire.
Okay.
And then the other guy, Bimu, is introduced, and it's the water, so they are in water. And then once they meet,
So you understand they're in love, right?
Yeah, no, it's
so then after that, it shows the 3 R's after they meet, and then it shows you what the R's actually stand for, and it was Rise,
Roar, revolt.
Rise, Roar, Revolt is what
Okay.
the movie stands for. Yeah.
So is the thing you weren't wanting to tell us like, do they fuck or?
Well,
No,
the thing
it's-
I wanted to tell you is I bought an autographed poster for $270 on eBay.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, he did say they were non-homosexual, so I think if they were
there's
to fuck on
I
screen, that would
out loud
declassify them as non-homosexual.
Rom-
you could like fuck the one guy and still
Yes.
decide that you're not, homosexual.
So-
Well, yeah,
You gotta-
in
you
the
gotta
grand
do
scheme
it
of
to even
things.
know for
No,
sure if
maybe
you are
you can
homosexual.
do that.
In the grand scheme of things,
Dude, I
maybe, but
keep
in the
trying.
context of like, the context of a movie universe, I don't think so.
So
Then he just kind of exists for that 3.5 hours.
I'll tell you this: he picked up a motorcycle and hit a tiger with it. That's what I know happened in that movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds incredible.
It's great. But so the Ramu guy, he can speak English and the language. In
Yeah,
the
that
movie
kinda,
Telugu.
I had another question then in
Mhm.
that case. So is it in English or is it dubbed or is it?
So-
75% English.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and then there's subtitles for when it's Telugu. It's not actually Hindi. They use Telugu for the movie.
Yeah, but it's
like-
the actual actors speaking the English. It's not some English actors dubbed over
It
them.
is the actors
Okay.
speaking the
In
English.
perfect
Yes.
English.
That's
And,
awesome.
yeah, it's like really well done. But a lot of white people in this movie. One black dude in the movie too, and I was so happy to see the black guy.
Yeah.
He was a
Bang
drummer
on
in a
the
band,
drums.
and it was
Oh.
great.
Hell yeah.
But the Ramu, the badass guy, he's the one who can speak English and the Hindi language, and he's trying to help his new buddy Bimu get with this white girl. She's like the niece of the governor of Britain, like of
The bad guy.
India. Yeah, he's the bad guy in the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
She's the niece, and he knows that the little girl he's trying to save is in that place, and he knows that this girl is nice, so he's just trying to get to her to get to the little girl. But
Okay.
Ramu thinks he's trying to,
Hmm.
he thinks he's in love with her.
Okay.
And I
yeah,
out loud
so-
in the movie said to Colton, he's like, he's trying to get some white girl puss. Out loud in the theater, he's like, he's gonna get that white girl pussy, and he did. Eventually.
One way or the other.
Yeah. Eventually.
Spoiler alert.
But, yeah.
Did you guys like high five or something when that happened?
No, we were too busy laughing for most of the movie, and also just being amazed, also because it, like, we didn't expect to go in and like this movie that much. Like, we thought it was gonna be a good time, we were gonna laugh, but it was a really good fucking movie.
It's definitely. I mean, it beats any Marvel movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like top 5 movie I've ever seen for sure.
I'm sold. I'll have to check it out.
It was long, but as a built-in intermission, it literally said interlude, and it was the 3 R's for RRR were the middle of the word interlude.
Steven Spielberg of India.
Love it.
Yeah, it's great. And we get to, I mean, before it gets to the interlude, I literally said to Cole on the phone, I was like, what the fuck is the intermission? Like, we were like, what the fuck? Like, where is it? You know, because so much had already happened. And this was an hour and 40 minutes in when the interlude
You'll never
happens.
be bored.
It was fucking crazy.
I mean, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, so, but no, great movie. There's 2 big dance sequences, like a musical.
Well, yeah.
And it was
They love
fantastic.
big extravagant dance sequences, and
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
so
100%.
You'll be amazed.
Oh, the music was so good.
Yeah,
The music, the whole movie was good, not even just the musicals.
It really was. Some of the music actually won an Oscar this year or last year. I don't remember. One of the 2.
Yeah, but yeah, watch the movie. It's great. That's all we can say.
So should we maybe introduce Colton?
Yeah, the guy, he did a whole lot of explaining about this movie. Very eloquent.
The podcast is literally yours right now.
Yeah. And that's what happens when there's a guest, right? Yeah, you're supposed to have them.
I'm just eating
Be
it
on there. Yeah.
I'm just here being a good boy.
He was gonna talk about RRR if I brought it up. So.
Yeah. But yeah, that guy is cool.
Yeah. And the dance was called the Natu. That was great.
Natu, like the Pokemon.
Yeah. Natu Natu, great song.
Yep.
And that was the one that got the Oscar.
Okay.
It was great music.
I
Yeah,
don't think I've ever watched
definitely.
the Oscars in my life.
Oh, neither. No.
Does anyone really watch the Oscars?
Not that I've ever
Well,
talked
after
to.
what Will Smith did, yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm a card holder now.
yeah, that's the only reason though, right?
All the fucking audience from WWE is just.
But it didn't happen this year, I don't think. Nothing super exciting happened.
No, but we're anticipating.
Well, I heard
something.
Brendan Fraser won an Oscar, so.
I mean, that was the most exciting news I heard was Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, I did hear about
An
that.
Oscar for The Whale. That's all.
I'm going to
What
see
is he?
that tomorrow, I think.
I still haven't gotten around to watching it, but
Yeah, he's my inspiration right now. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get that fat.
I think he had a suit.
Well.
Yeah, he did. But, you know, he's not as skinny as he used to be.
No,
I missed him,
he's
though.
like,
I was
he's
there
old,
so long that he wasn't in no movies, and I was just sad.
Yeah, I was actually, in relation to that, I was actually looking up his filmography the other day, and I did notice there was a gap from somewhere in the early 2000s to later in the 2010s where he was just like not in any movies. But he was doing some TV stuff. I don't remember the name of it, but he was doing some TV shows.
Well,
in
they
that,
say he was trying
gap.
to exploit all those people that were doing the shit in Hollywood, like Harvey Weinstein and all that, and he got blackballed. That's
Exploit or
you know how Harvey Weinstein
like
was
expose.
Expose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. When
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein
Expose the exploitation.
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein's trying to fuck bitches, and I don't blame him. But no, I'm just fucking around. But
Sound clip.
but yeah, apparently he was trying to do all that.
Yeah. So I've heard.
Yeah, just trying to be a good dude, and then he got fucked. So.
Which, I mean, there's probably
But
a lot of people in Hollywood
also-
with that story.
Also
I
with the
imagine.
whole blackmailing, not blackmailing, but he and his wife started to get a divorce. That kind of turned shit upside down for him.
Well, and didn't he himself claim to be the victim of some level of sexual abuse in Hollywood at some point?
Yeah.
So
That I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was.
Then he
said,
decided
but-
to be there for his kids because one of them is pretty severely autistic.
Yeah, and I mean
So-
that's definitely got to be rough.
Yeah.
So
I can see why he still did a little bit of TV work, probably keep money in, but
yeah,
nothing too big. But man, with the Mummy movie, the one they did without him would have been a lot better.
Oh
with
yeah,
him.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'll take
There's also
Brendan
that
Fraser
Looney
over
Tunes
Tom
movie
Cruise any
he's
day.
in, where it's like a mixture of
Looney Tunes back in action.
Yes, that one is.
I
that's such a
forgot
great
about that movie until the other night when we were researching Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
I love that.
One of
movie.
my favorite movies.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Although if you look at the reviews for it,
No,
it's
people did not like it back in the day. But I mean,
as a kid, I watched it like
there's
I don't know,
1,000
once a
times.
month. Yeah, like once a month I watched that movie.
yeah, and are those like the critical reviews or are those audience reviews at the time?
probably
So-
critical.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing. There tends to be a real big
I say,
disconnect between the
tend
critics and
to-
the audience
You should have
reviews.
given Rotten Tomatoes to any kid.
That's another
It
thing.
was good. Everybody would have fucking rated
Yeah.
that one gone.
That was the thing with this RRR movie. Like, we weren't sure if we're going to actually love it because critic reviews and audience reviews were both really good.
Oh, so yeah, because that's sometimes
It's got like a
that's
95%.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And,
Incredibly high.
normally I don't agree with the critic reviews.
Yeah, no, they're usually kind of.
Yeah, I try to.
Like I
I
said,
watch.
weirdly
I look at the
disconnected.
audience score. I'm like, okay, audience score, but that doesn't always mean. I still watch the movie to see, but it kind of gets my hopes up if it's high, and it kind of
Mm-hmm.
makes like them very low if it's a low score. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's more so the audience score is normally how I feel about movies.
Yeah,
It's always in
'cause-
that range, and never in the range of the critics, like ever.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Like, there was another animated movie, Quest for Camelot. You guys ever watch that one back in the day?
Yeah, I watched that
No.
one.
Yeah, so it's got a relatively like high profile cast when you go back and look at it because it has Gary Oldman, it has what's her name, the Canadian singer Celine Dion does a
Jesus.
song in it. It has Pierce Brosnan.
Jesus Christ.
It has Steve Perry doing a song, and it also has Eric Idle from Monty Python doing one of the voices.
Oh my god.
So there's a ton of people in this movie that are famous from other stuff or went on to be did a whole bunch of stuff, and the critic reviews are terrible. They're like, oh, it's just this dumb animated forgettable movie that kids will like. Kids will like anything animated though. But then the audience reviews are way higher because people actually enjoyed it. They have fond memories growing up, and the music's awesome. Like it's fantastic soundtrack even now.
Well, something that bothers me is that like if you look at the critic reviews of like animations, it is just all 40-year-old men and I feel like you should get a good amount of children's opinion to go towards that.
It's
Yeah.
it's out of touch Hollywood quacks that do these reviews. It's like they're sad.
Yeah.
That's all I know. I don't. There's things in their lives that they need to get
I mean,
fixed.
you just shouldn't get paid for reviews. That shouldn't be a job. It
Yeah.
should be strictly.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's.
Unless you're like a passionate person doing it on some kind of other I don't know, channel other than like writing it on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well,
or
and even
something.
then, that would be like monetizing a form of content as
It
opposed to
would.
just
Yeah.
review.
But
Well-
there's people who will do it like on YouTube, like a vlog review of
Yeah.
it. But they're just more passionate about movies, so
Mhm.
they end up having pretty good reviews for any movie.
Yeah,
But
and
still, they're passionate about the movies they're watching it.
that's the important
The
part.
critics
is the people,
people,
that care
they're
about
not.
it
They're
do it.
watching it for a job,
Yeah.
So
well,
they're
that's
not
like-
going in to be like, all right, time to go enjoy this movie. Like
Those
most
people think their
moviegoers.
word count matters more than anything on those postings.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, which. Ugh.
And big words that sound fancy when you're writing it. So.
Oh yeah.
You guys know that channel CinemaSins?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that like when that channel launched, a lot of people started to become more critical about movies because like you don't notice like all the errors until you watch one of his videos, and so like there was a time I was watching like a ton of them, and then like during that time I went to Pittsburgh and I was hanging out with this girl I met on Tinder, like in her dorm room, and we were watching The Conjuring,
Mm-hmm.
1 and 2, and so I kept like basically mentioning shit like how the CinemaSins guy did, and kind of like ruining the fucking movie all throughout, and then moral of the story, I lost out on some puss.
Oh
So,
yeah.
by the end of it was really awkward, and she clearly wanted me to leave. Like,
I mean, that
so-
makes sense, though, because, if she was going into it expecting to like it, and you were going into it expecting to be critical,
Right.
that's probably just, like, a difference of expectation there.
Well, the thing about it is, like, I think that I was kind of, like, thrown off and nervous, and was just kind of, like wanting to try to impress her, you know? So I was kind of, like, attaching to this, like, kind of douchebag persona.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, that'll do it in.
Yeah. Now when I see errors in movies, I just try to laugh about them because I try to find them more funny than anything.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there's no piece of art that's perfect.
No.
So.
Yeah.
And movies are definitely art form.
Dude, Where's My Car exists.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Just my favorite movie.
Yeah.
No errors.
It's a fantastic movie.
And RRR has errors, but they're so funny. They're not errors anymore.
Yeah, if you're going into a movie expecting that, then that can be a great thing because.
But then there weren't as many as we thought there were going to be. It was also great.
So it just exceeds expectations at that point.
It did. The whole movie exceeded expectations. It was great.
You want to talk about a movie like, basically what you said, like it's going to be bad, but in a good way. Have you guys seen The Room?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in its entirety.
I don't
that
think.
shit's
I mean,
crazy.
I think I've seen a little bit of it, but
it's so bad. For one, every single I can't talk. Every single picture frame you see in that movie will be one of 3 different pictures of flowers. Every single one, no matter what scene. Literally every time they went to a new set, they picked up everything, put it in the background of the next set.
I mean, and probably the whole goal is just to make you feel like you're going insane. I think. Just watching the movie?
No, I think that guy took this movie very seriously.
You don't even think that could be a serious goal?
Wait, what?
I mean, just to make you feel crazy, to make it the whole thing weird? I mean, if he was taking it seriously, that would certainly accomplish that. So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. He's a lunatic. What's his name? Tommy Wiseau?
That's the thing is
something like that.
I don't I think he just thinks that I've seen interviews with this guy. He thinks he made a genuine great movie. I don't think he realizes people are going to make fun of it. He talks about it so highly, and then he even he's on YouTube breaking down scenes and shit.
What, the director is?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
you've never taken a gigantic shit and then been like, have you guys got to see how big this shit is?
Well, yeah, but in
I
that
would talk
instance,
about it too.
you do know. You do know that
But
it's
he's not
shit,
talking about
that
it.
it's
He's not he's not accepting the fact it's a piece of shit.
They would be
He
like,
thinks
my
it's a
biggest
piece
piece
of
of
like
shit.
marble.
yeah, but it would be more like if you were to take that huge shit and then tell your friends, hey, look at this bread I baked.
Yeah,
This is the best loaf of bread you've
And then
ever seen in your
friends are
entire
just kinda
life.
and your friends are just awkwardly there wanting to support
They're
you,
just
and
laughing.
they're just
They're like, yeah, the bread's amazing.
this is great.
No,
man.
I don't want any.
Let the guy be proud, all right?
Yeah. So.
What is wrong with you, asshole?
Another movie that's so bad it's hilarious is Thanksgiving. I love that movie.
I have never actually watched that one.
It's supposed to be a horror movie.
It's supposed to be full of bad one-liners too.
Oh, it is,
Turkey,
100%.
right? Yeah.
But they're so bad they're hilarious. It's the first Thanksgiving, turkey comes back to life and starts killing people, and it's fucking hilarious. At one point, he wears the skin of a guy he killed, which is the stepdad of another girl in the movie, and her friend comes to the house, and he's wearing the guy's face and his hat and his flannel jacket, but he's the size of a normal turkey. He's not person-sized. But this girl thinks it's her friend's stepdad, and then they bang.
Gobble, gobble.
Yeah, gobble, gobble.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of. When did that movie come out?
Early 2010s.
Okay.
I feel like I've seen some kind of parody of this
Yeah,
on a
Rick and
Wait,
Morty.
How can you?
Did they do that?
Season.
They did the turkeys, yeah.
Wasn't that 2 seasons ago?
No, it was this season, wasn't it?
The
It
turkey.
was definitely
That was last season.
It was.
I think.
I mean,
It was very recent.
it must. I mean,
So within
either
the last
this,
couple of years, for sure.
this season or the season before, for
Well,
sure.
I'm
One of
pretty
those two.
positive it was the last season. Well, not this season, but the one before that, because in this last one, the Thanksgiving episode just had a reference to it.
Oh, the turkeys.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think
don't
because
remember.
when the episode starts, you see Rick flying in and hitting the window.
Yeah.
It was
And
recent
turn it.
enough, I'll tell you that, alright?
Yeah.
Rick turned himself
But,
into a turkey.
But at one of the things he does is he sticks his head through a guy after he stabs him through, and he's looking up at this guy through him, and he says, "Happy Thanksgiving, motherfucker." Or he sees a chick who's naked. He's like, "Nice tits, bitch." He's got a super deep, awesome voice for no reason. The turkey. Just
there's-
killing everybody.
There's all kinds of wild stuff that gets put into movies. There was
Oh my God. But that's so funny.
Tammy and the T-Rex. Yeah,
That one I haven't seen. No.
If you want a good bad movie, watch Wolf Cop.
Wolf
I believe we've talked about that before.
My favorite good bad movie.
And that is Slater's portion of the podcast.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
That's all you get. Did you guys watch the new South Park episode?
Oh,
no,
yes.
not yet.
Yeah.
I'm still behind.
Not my favorite this season.
Oh, yeah?
No. Japanese Toilet's still my favorite this season, I think.
Yeah, the Japanese.
I really liked Cupid E also, just because it's making fun of Kanye. So
Yeah.
which we watched some South Park today at work, so
Oh,
that's
nice.
why it's on my mind.
That's
But,
like it's an awesome work environment.
yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. I like them. I enjoy watching South Park for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole new season's pretty good, man.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed it.
Overall, it's good. Yeah.
Isn't it supposed to be 6 episodes? So we've got like one
Yeah.
left.
Yeah, we got one left. I don't know what that one's gonna be
That's
about.
so lame.
I can bring back Lenny Links. That's what I want.
Well, I'm
We watched the
curious.
episode today too.
Well, I mean, now that they're going through that lawsuit, hopefully next season we'll have 10.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna draw publicity if nothing else. I mean,
No matter what, they're fine.
like I'm not sure what they can even, like, what their grounds to sue them on is gonna be.
Well, I think that in the contract it did say like exclusive streaming rights to the South Park content, and how they kind of did it, like cheapen it, was they shortened it to 6 episodes. And
Yeah,
then they had
that's
so
true.
there might be an issue with like the wording of it because of the specials they put on Paramount, making it to where it's not exclusively on HBO Max. But that just depends. It might say exclusively episodes.
It's kind of hilarious
I
in a
don't know
meta
what-
context with them, making that special the streaming
Sure,
wars and the
yeah.
content they're in.
Yeah, they probably did that on purpose.
Yeah,
making fun of
there's-
themselves and
There's
other
no way,
streaming
right?
services for sure.
I was thinking there was a couple shots fired.
But also
there,
the fact that they bring in real life stuff with like the streams in Colorado not bringing enough water to people, also being a point of that episode was like so mind blowing. Like to me, it was just so clever. I was like, man, they can literally tie in so many things together that don't have anything to do with each other and make it hilarious every time.
And then Randy going full blown Karen.
Yeah.
The fucking dragonborn Karen. That's how you do it.
It kind of makes me wonder, since I mean, I think all of us probably grew up watching South Park for the most part. Like the
Yeah.
show's as old as most
I didn't watch
of
it.
us.
I didn't watch
so.
it when I was like at home, but when I'd go to my dad's, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
He literally bought me a collection that had like a bunch of their best episodes. This was up till season like maybe 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So like an episode we watched today, the Death Camp Intolerance was on there.
Oh, that's
The
a
one where they
classic
say shit like 600 sometimes.
Mhm.
That one's on there. There's just a lot of their really good ones were all in there, and I'd watch that thing over and over.
Classics.
I actually have a story like that, and I think I told you about it. But like when I was young, I would go to my grandpa's every weekend, and at one point I took a big old box of VHSs, and like there was like, well, there was like, I wish, there was like 2 or 3 volumes of South Park. So I went ahead and was watching them there, and then Mom found out, told my grandpa, no, can't be watching that, and my grandpa, who is really fucking deaf, puts in the shows himself, watches some of it. Next time I go, he's like,
These are great cartoons
Yeah.
for the kids.
yeah, no, literally, like, I don't know what the big deal is, just 4 kids walking around Colorado. And then and I was like, yes,
Yeah.
Grandpa, it is.
That's all it is, Grandpa.
That's all
Yeah.
it is.
You are 100%.
Yeah.
You are.
Impeccable logic, Grandpa.
Yes, thank you, Grandpa. I will
So
continue
wise.
watching them. Yes. And then I never talked to it about my mom. He probably never brought it up because he knew that she was gonna be like no, and he thought it wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah.
So-
Just easier for everyone that way. If he was like, I don't care.
Yeah, see, my dad purposely showed me things he wasn't supposed to, so.
Yeah, that was
he's
kind
very,
of.
he's very spiteful, so.
That was kind of.
Yeah.
I can tell you a South Park story. This is how I got told to never watch South Park again by my mom. I was watching it downstairs in the living
I
room,
remember this
and
one.
my dad was next to us on the computer, and my mom had walked in when I was watching the episode when Britney Spears was there, and Butters was like her little
That's also part of
slave.
the collection that I watched that episode.
And she's like drunk, laid out over on like a couch like this,
Oh.
and her legs are
Yeah.
spread open. And my mom walks in the
Periscope.
living room when Butters is poking her in the vagina with a stick and goes, "What's that squishy thing in her pants?" And my mom screams, turns off the TV, and I got my ass beat. I got to watch South Park for like 3 years.
And did your mom tell you what the squishy thing was?
I got sent to my room. I don't think I ever got talked to about anything.
Huh? That's it.
Your dad just playing solitaire, spider solitaire on the computer.
He's probably
laughing his
just
ass
going through
off.
Craigslist looking for something.
So, me, growing up watching South Park, I would basically watch it late nights when they would air reruns. Because growing up, my mom worked nights, and she wasn't really, wasn't crazy about us watching South Park as kids.
Right.
But she also was at work a lot.
Yeah.
And
She wasn't there
Dad...
to stop you.
Yeah. Dad thought South Park was hilarious. He liked the South Park
Yeah.
guys, and
Yeah.
he was not necessarily opposed at all.
My dad loved South Park. Also, he's the one who got me started on a lot of the old comedians, like very crude ones that my mom wasn't very happy about me listening to. Like, I probably listened to more Dave Chappelle than anybody at that age.
I remember
That's who my dad's favorite was. So.
My dad told me about Richard Pryor when I was
we
like
watched
12
a lot
or
of
13.
Richard Pryor. Yeah.
It's like-
We watched a lot of Chris Rock.
Yeah. Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. Yeah. We watched a lot of Eddie Murphy. Now my dad listens to a lot of Bill Burr and stuff like that
Oh,
too.
yeah,
But
yeah. Well, they kind of took up that mantle of the
We listened
edgy
to a
stuff
lot of Norm
whenever it came to
Macdonald.
the next generation.
there's a lot-
I just
Oh,
hate the
you're
fact that, all the edgy comedians went from black to white, though.
yeah.
I'm not sure what the deal is, but yeah.
I don't know what the
there's
fuck
still Dave
Murphy's doing
Chappelle.
anymore.
Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle's edgy now.
Oh, yeah.
Dave.
Yeah. You want a biscuit with that? Well, I thought it came with one.
It's hilarious to me is it's kind of how controversial stuff about Dave Chappelle is now, and he was so popular in the early 2000s.
Oh, I know.
Like it was insane. He was
It's
everywhere.
Different generations.
You
know,
guys
it's
remember
all
the show Drawn Together?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch a lot of it, but I remember it.
Well, there's one of the
Great.
scenes where in the second or third season, when they knew they were close to getting canceled, that they were criticizing themselves, and they had the character, the Jew producer character, who was criticizing all the stuff about their show.
Sorry. Juducer, continue.
Juducer,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just correcting you. Go on.
Yeah. Okay, get those jabs in, Brandon. Anyway, yeah, but one of the things he tells them that their show has a shocking lack of Dave Chappelle. And so it's crazy, and that was in like 2006 or 7, so
Just
not really that long ago.
My Facebook reels now are just mostly like Trey Parker and Matt Stone, and just like interviews with them, and it's always new ones. I'm like, how many fucking interviews have they done in their life? But they're always hilarious. Like, there's one guy who asked like Matt Stone, he's like, Matt, say something mean about Trey. He like leans into the mic, stinky butt. and then he's like, all right, Trey, you say something mean about Matt. He leans in and goes, Jew. Like, just stuff like that. Or when they both had like the crazy afro hair and they're like talking, they're just smiling real big and saying really crazy stuff, and the dog keeps changing, like which dog is sitting in front of them.
Yes. I remember what that is.
So
That's from
funny.
the introductions they did on like the first 3
Yes.
seasons of
Oh my God.
like the series they had on VHS.
Yes.
They go through a lot of different ones. There's also a cooking show
Oh,
where they are cooking various bacon-centric recipes,
Yeah.
and then they keep feeding it to a pig.
what was it? Bacon for Megan?
Yeah,
or-
making bacon with Macon.
Oh, yeah.
There's one where they are entertaining like old folks, and they keep playing like they're trying to play like metal on an acoustic guitar,
Yeah.
and he's doing like like a James Hetfield impression or something. He throws a ninja star at one of the old guys. He just keeps yelling at them.
Me and Colin talked about this recently. We know like Stan is supposed to be Trey and Matt is Kyle's Matt, but it's like I think they like Cartman and Kenny are based off of people they knew when they were kids. Is that what it was? I can't remember exactly. I think
It could have
is.
been.
Kenny
but-
is for sure.
I know Kenny is. I think Cartman is too, but I can't remember who.
I don't know. In
Like,
those interviews,
came
they
up
say
with
the
each
only
character.
person that any character is based on is Mr. Mackey.
Yeah, but I know that's the only person that Trey said. The only person who could sue us is
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah. Good.
They must not have yet.
Yeah. He probably thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah, he probably
or he
does.
might be dead. Who knows?
Yeah,
If he was
yeah.
if he was an older counselor when they were in school.
I would have been honored.
Right?
I also watched the episode where someone takes a shit in the urinal. I think.
Oh yeah.
And it's the 9/11 conspiracy also going on where Cartman
The Hardly
says,
Boys.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's just like I'm getting a clue.
Your clue's giving me a clue.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
look, come over here. I'm getting a raging clue.
Yeah.
But
Those guys.
Whenever, Cartman just straight up blames Kyle, and a bunch of people start believing it, and then they go talk to that guy who has all the computers and shit, like a huge conspiracy theorist, and he starts talking about shit, and Kyle just goes, "That's retarded."
I think it's the same episode where Cartman asks guys like, "Are you saying 1/4 of Americans are retarded?"
Yeah.
He's like, yes.
And then-
I'm saying
And then
1/4
at
of
the end of the
Americans are
episode,
retarded.
yeah, and then at the end of the episode, fucking President Bush says that. He says the same thing. He's like, well, 1/4 of Americans are retarded. So fucking good. I like they just blow the guy's brains out and they're walking down the street and say the same guy again. They're like,
Yeah.
But just the shit they used to say that they don't even really say anymore. Like I don't remember last time they said retard on the show. Like
I don't know. I think I've told you guys before. I have kind of like a funny anecdote about. So, I work at Walmart as my day job. But anyway, they repeat shit on the radio just all day. You know,
Oh,
they have
wow.
like these
Yeah.
the bumpers or the clips or whatever, and they use sound clips. And some of those sound clips I recognize from not family-friendly things, and they're not using like the not family-friendly part.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one that is a sound clip of Mr. Garrison.
Really?
Yeah. And what he's saying is wrong, try again. And I know, like, so it's from the episode where Richard Dawkins is teaching everyone, like, the next word he said is retard in the sound clip.
Yeah.
But they have it cut out and it's just hilarious. Just knowing that, like, if that sound clip went on for two more seconds. Or like a second, yeah. But they also use, I don't know, how many of you guys remember the movie Grandma's Boy?
I
It's
know
been too
of it.
long. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the old stoner comedy.
Yes, okay.
But pretty much the drug dealer, Dante, in that movie. There's a scene where, so they've gone through the whole movie naming different strains of weed and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a scene, excuse me, where some stuff happens and our protagonist goes to his drug dealer and tells him that he wants to roll, like, all the different strains they've talked about over the course of this movie together into one joint and smoke it. And the guy's like, nobody's ever been brave enough to try that before. And that's another sound clip they use at work. And it's got to be because people like our age or a little older than us maybe are the DJs that are putting this stuff together is what I think. So I wonder how many of them are like laughing at the fact they're using these
they're
clips.
using this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they have to be. They're
Yeah.
Like, oh man, if we could just leave retard in there, that'd be so funny.
But it'd be great if it, like, just the one time it was
Just-
in there. Like, the one time.
I would love to just see the expression on people's faces.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny. You're talking to a customer and you hear it, and they hear it too. You're just looking at each other like, oh man, they'd be so shocked. They'd be so pissed off too. And there's a guy we work with who, for a while, didn't want us saying it.
Oh yeah.
It's
People
like,
get sensitive. It goes up and down about the
They
word.
do. I'm like, I was literally taught how to like the first person I think I ever heard say that was probably my mother.
Well, I mean, it's just one of those linguistic things where
Yeah.
people are like, you know, retard was invented as the polite alternative to moron.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
which was invented as the polite alternative to invalid, maybe something along those lines. But anyway,
yeah.
it's like it's just this evolution of language where something that's a medical term, people get offended by it, and it moves on to the next thing, and so it just changes over time.
My mom's favorite
But-
word to describe someone who's dumb is dumbass.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
that's-
dumbass is a good one.
Yeah, my dad's is ignorant.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the one he uses a lot.
This,
Mine
this
is
one
you
time-
stupid motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
You
one. Yeah.
fucking fucktard.
Fucktard is a fantastic
Yeah.
one.
One of our coworkers has that mug that says, "I'm sorry, no hablo fucktardo."
This is one time I made a coworker laugh because it was the first time I'd ever seen like retard on like a gauge, like a pressure gauge.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I didn't know
What it meant?
well, I mean, like I asked him about it, and I was like, yeah, it just means that like like you can't measure it properly at that point. And I was like, oh, okay, I thought it meant like hold on there, retard.
Yeah, you're not doing this right. me.
Games.
Yeah, game collection. It's ever expanding.
I honestly thought you were just like laughing so hard that you couldn't look
That'll
over.
never happen.
It's hard to impress you, man.
So, we were talking about movies that are so bad they're good earlier. Do you guys have a movie that you were hoping was going to be so bad it's good and just ended up being bad? And what's the worst one of those? Like, if there was a movie you could literally take back, you could get your time you spent watching it back to do something else.
I didn't expect it going into
what would you choose?
I can tell you that there was a movie that I watched for 20 minutes, and I wish I could get the 20 fucking minutes back.
Yeah.
It was the newest Jurassic World, Lost Kingdom.
Oh.
You didn't like it?
Okay.
Did you know that
It's
Bryce
about
Dallas
really
Howard
not.
can outrun velociraptors?
Well, not you act like he's about to defend it with his life.
Actually, I haven't even seen it.
Don't. I'm saving you the time, buddy.
I
Oh,
saw
thank
it in
you,
the
thank
theater,
you.
and I've seen it not in the theater
Yeah.
so that I could make sure it wasn't good.
Yeah, it was ass. Like, I had to stop, go back and watch the previous movie, because I was like, where the fuck did this girl come from? I was like, was she even part of the last movie? I thought I missed a movie, alright? No, they're just so fucking stupid with plot, they don't know what the fuck they're
That's
doing.
my favorite thing with fucking Godzilla movies. They do that shit all the time. I'm just like, I don't care about people. Show me Godzilla. Just
Yeah.
watch it.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
That's
No.
why, like, Godzilla
That's
vs. Kong ended
that's
up
not
being
45% of the movie. I'm dissatisfied.
I want to be 95% of the movie. Like, well, I'm watching it. It's fucking Godzilla.
I was like, Chris Pratt, motorcycle raptors, roar. That's what I wanted in that movie. I didn't get it. I didn't fucking get it.
Stand off with fucking velociraptors.
I didn't get
Where
it.
is that?
What about you, Jason?
I can't think of a movie I expected to be like bad and was bad, but I can think of a movie that I was made to watch with my family
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't know how it was going to be. It was an older movie, and typically I end up liking the older movies that they show me. Fucking, is it Breakfast Club? Like where the kids are in detention
Yep.
and shit? I hate that movie. That's the most boring, dumb movie I've ever watched in my entire life. I wish I could get that.
I
How
do.
the long movie is back.
I
Hate
feel
that
yeah.
fucking
It's
movie.
overhyped as hell.
Oh my god, it's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
But same reaction from my mom because she'd never seen it either.
Really?
It's just that like my stepdad and his family love this movie.
Yeah, lots
and
of people do.
We
It's
watched
like
this
some people's
movie and my
favorite
mom
movie.
said this is one of the rare times she is retarded. She's like, that movie was retarded. When it was over, the entire time she's just sitting there, just like I could tell she was not into it. But same, I was like, okay, I'm not the only one who feels this way.
Yeah.
But there's a like my little brother, he does this all the time with old movies where he just doesn't end up liking any of them. Me and my stepdad and my mom were laughing our asses off watching Airplane, and Talon just doesn't understand it. I'm like, Talon. He's like, this movie's not funny. I'm like,
Airplane
I'm
is
about to choke you
hilarious.
to death. I'm like, I might go to prison.
Yeah.
Like, Airplane's hilarious.
It's like, this is peak comedy,
Yeah.
you little shit.
Man stuck in fridge eats own foot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still masturbating.
And yeah.
But what have you?
The Incredible Hulk.
Incredible Hulk?
Yeah.
Like the one
The
before.
first of the MCU. Like,
Were you talking about the
MCU
one with
movie.
Edward Norton, or are you talking
That-
about the one before that?
So the one with Edward Norton, I've watched all the way through, and that was mainly just because it's part of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they should have kicked it out of the MCU a long time ago, but that one I hate. And then the one before that, I actually went to the theater, was about 20 minutes into it, and turned to my grandma and was like, "Can we leave?"
Yeah, with
It's
Airplane,
like-
yeah.
It's like nothing, like that movie, it's like your expectations of Marvel is going to be colorful and more comic book
Oh
bookish.
yeah, it is
and that
dark
one-
as hell.
Yeah, and then like, I just didn't get it as a kid, you know? It's like, this isn't the Hulk I know.
I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of people don't like the X-Men movies, but they're all better than the two Hulk movies. Like every single one, except for like probably the newest one, but
Mm-hmm.
like Phoenix or whatever. Phoenix, right? I don't even know. I haven't seen the full movie. I had to stop watching. I was like, I can't do it. Nah, this one's too bad.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, fucking Breakfast Club for sure. I hate that movie.
I think that's a
Terrible movie.
fair one. I think mine would probably be
Episode 8 and 9 of Star Wars also.
Oh yeah.
Don't like those either.
I don't. I'm
But-
a lot less harsh on movies I didn't
I'll
watch.
rewatch. Yeah,
So-
but I would rewatch those over. I will never rewatch Breakfast Club.
I've seen, unfortunately, some people in my family are big Breakfast Club fans. And I've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
But I think I would take back the time I spent watching a movie called A Wrinkle in Time.
Good book, not a great movie.
Never read the book. So I went in like knowing
I
nothing.
read the whole series of books. There's more than just A Wrinkle in Time.
And I mean, and so the person I was with was the one that wanted to go see the movie anyway, and like.
So my mom had me when I was a kid read these books.
Okay, they're good books. Though.
They are good books.
Okay.
Yeah, they're great.
Apparently not good movies.
No, the movie's not even close to the book at all. So. Yeah, it's pretty horrible.
But I think I just definitely we should have gone to go see like any other movie. Would have been fine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I everyone knows my favorite movie because I talk about it all the time. But Dude, Where's My Car? But what are your guys' like favorite movies?
That is a tough call.
Yeah.
I think like OG,
just a favorite doesn't have to be absolute favorite.
Like the original Jurassic Park comes to mind for me, just because I've literally worn out a VHS of that.
So. Yeah, I did the same with Aristocats and The Fox and the Hound.
Aristocats are fantastic.
Also, what's the one with fucking? It's another Disney movie, but it's cats. It's like Oliver and Company.
Oh, Oliver and Company. Yeah, that's the one with Billy Joel, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those three I wore the tape. Probably, I think 2 tapes of Aristocats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so fave movie. I gotta say Toy Story.
Think so?
Yeah.
Well, also it's short as hell.
You find it weird rewatching it now, like with as far as animation and stuff has come, and Pixar in particular.
I've seen that movie quite literally hundreds of times, and I'll still watch it now. Like I watch it with Nadia sometimes.
Huh.
And at one point in my life, I could quite literally quote the entire script. I shit you not.
I believe it.
I was gonna do that with the Lord of the Rings movies.
Nice.
Yeah. I could not.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just said I could not. I could not quote any Lord of the Rings.
No, I couldn't either. I hate all 3 movies.
No, I fucking love those movies. But I love the books. I got all the nostalgia in the world for the
I enjoy the
stuff.
Hobbits. I really do think the Lord of the Rings sucks. I mean, it's a fucking goddamn trilogy of just walking.
I mean, but there's so much more. So much more.
No.
It's the things you don't see, you know. That's why I think you gotta have the nostalgia.
It's the journey. That's what they say. It's the journey.
You don't see Gandalf fighting the Balrog. You know what happens. Yeah. That's going on. It's like, but they never show it. Yeah. Like while a lot of that walking is going on, Gandalf is fighting the Balrog underground to the death.
I wish I could have that book.
Right?
I'll tell you that. That's the book I wish I would have read about.
Well, that book is like a letter from Tolkien to somebody, but.
I don't know. I guess my favorite movie is probably that RRR movie.
Yeah.
It's fucking
honestly, it's fucking up there for me. Like it's a great movie. It's actually very good. Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to think about my favorite movie. I really did enjoy that RRR movie though. I used to really enjoy Fight Club, but I know I have a movie that's definitely overtaken it at this point. But I just can't think of it right now. There's nothing like I have TV series.
Yeah.
That I watch over.
You're more of a TV guy.
And over.
Yeah,
I'm not a movie person.
I do that as well.
That's most people nowadays, ain't it?
For sure. Yeah, I think so.
It feels bigger and smaller at the same time. It's like a much larger world.
You watch it in smaller
media that you can take in smaller pieces.
You watch it in smaller spurts, but there's more content than a movie.
Yeah. So sometimes it doesn't feel as rushed.
Yeah.
As a movie because there's more time for character development over the course of a TV show or something like that.
I'm so much more excited when my series like I'm getting a new season. Like I can't think of the last time I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to go to the movies and go check this new movie that's coming. I mean, I do that now because there's like
Cocaine
a small
Bear.
theater that I go to. Well, yeah, something like that.
I guess your parents didn't like it, and you still need to see it.
I haven't seen it yet. My dad said it was pretty decent, but my mom, she didn't like it.
Well, I mean,
different senses of humor.
So yeah, it probably doesn't appeal to mom's sensibilities on average. I would say.
Wolf of Wall Street. That might be my favorite movie.
Wolf of Wall Street is a pretty fantastic movie.
Yeah, I really I enjoy it. Like, okay, this is it. If I could do this, this is my favorite movie. Wolf of Wall Street. If I could direct it and I could end it, like when he gets after the feds find him and then he goes back and does his speech where he's like, I ain't fucking leaving, and then if he doesn't get arrested again. If the movie could end there, so only have like an hour and a half long movie instead of a 3-hour movie, and he just ends on that high.
Well, that's Leonardo DiCaprio's superpower, though. He makes any movie he's in like 3 times as long.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that makes it still a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's only one Leonardo DiCaprio movie that I don't really like that comes to mind immediately that I actively dislike.
Titanic?
No, I've never seen Titanic.
Oh, okay.
Is it Eating Gilbert?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god, how the fuck did I know that? I love that movie.
I can't stand that fucking movie.
Which one was it? I don't know if I've seen it.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Don't waste your time.
It's so sad, dude. He's like retarded and his mom dies and he goes in, and he discovers it and
Sounds
he's
like
like,
a horrible
Mama?
movie.
Yeah.
Mama?
Yeah. It's like I don't know.
You have no heart.
I think Brandon explained it just fine.
There are things that aren't there. Yeah,
It's about as bad as that explanation.
Yeah.
Oh, there's other stuff too that's also sad.
Well, what's your most watched movie, you think?
Oh,
Probably
God.
Jurassic Park?
I mean that or. So I watched a lot of the first 2 Pokemon movies growing up because I had them on VHS. I watched the shit out of Pokemon, the first movie, and Pokemon the movie 2000.
Mine's the first Shrek, for sure.
Oh yeah,
I watched the
Shrek's
absolute
fantastic.
fuck out of the first Shrek when I was younger. And I have it on repeat on DVD at my dad's every weekend. It would end. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and it was on the menu screen.
I'm like, oh, play Shrek.
Hit play and go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a heroin addict.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was, and then I'd go to my mom's and I just wouldn't watch it. And then 2 weekends later, at my dad's, as soon as I get in the door, putting Shrek in the DVD player, and then there's another TV in there. I'd play games all day. Shrek would be on. Then end, I'd hit play, go back to playing Grand Theft Auto or whatever. But Shrek was going.
And you're an addict whenever you wake up and re-up and then just fall right back to sleep.
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, Shrek, I can go back to sleep now.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I woke up because the movie's over.
Yeah.
Can I get my Shrek?
I mean, yeah, I did that with a bunch of things growing up too, though. So it's like I think it's just probably a lot of people did that kind of similar.
I did
thing.
it. That's the reason, like Fox and the Hound and Aristocats and stuff like that got worn out on my VHS tape. I rewatched those movies all the time as a kid. So
I just woke up to George Lopez theme song.
I did that.
Oh
Once
my
I got
God,
older, I did
yeah.
that. Yeah.
That's all I ever woke up to.
Yeah. From the ages of like 6 to 8, I did the Shrek thing, and then after that, I moved on to just George Lopez and Friends and shit like that being on late at night.
You know what's funny is like George Lopez, Everybody Loves Raymond, Full House, all those fucking sitcoms. I remember growing up and thinking that they were fucking hilarious, and then I put them on, like I'm about to show them to my daughter, and I'm just like, just wait, and then we watch it, and I'm just like, never mind.
Keep waiting.
There's a couple that are actually funny, and that's like that 70s show. Like that was actually hilarious, and
Yeah.
It was great.
How I Met Your Mother's pretty good. So
have you guys seen that 90s show?
I have.
I have not.
Yeah, I watched it.
I think it was definitely worth it.
Red and Kitty were the best part.
I'm kind of glad that they're the leads this time around.
Oh, yeah, me too.
It's nice.
And the kids weren't bad.
I mean, are there any returning characters from the previous cast aside from
Oh yeah,
Red?
there's
Fez
just
is in,
sprinkled.
Okay.
Fez is in like 3 episodes.
Some are there more, some
All
are
the
there less.
HUD, buddy.
Yeah,
It's like
Hyde's on it.
Yeah, I think like you get a whole episode with Eric, and then Donna is in like 2 whole episodes, and then appears in 1, and then like there are episodes focused around Fez, and then also I think like Kelso and Jackie I think they just
They're in
make
the
a
first
cameo.
episode
Isn't
for
it
like
just a cameo?
maybe a few minutes.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
But I'm sure. Well, and then they just ordered 16 episodes for the next season. That'd be great. But like, so I imagine that like basically what these actors were doing was kind of like dipping their toe in the water.
Yeah.
And then I bet you next season there's gonna be like entire episodes focused around like
older
Jackie
characters
and Kelso. And,
I want episodes focused around Red and Kitty.
Yeah, it is like the #1 watched comedy on Netflix right now. So yeah.
I've heard this before many times. No one watches it for Eric. No one watched that 70s show for Eric.
No.
You know what? They did do a good job on bringing him back though.
Yeah, well,
because
he's still a great actor. Like.
Well, no,
I like
I'm talking about like the character
plays like an
development.
asshole.
Yeah, he's good
It's
at
like
it.
you can tell. Well, yeah, you can see the real him coming out. I think.
Yeah.
It's like he's got some natural talents.
Yeah.
But no, I think
Learned it
like
from Red.
I think they did a good job like translating like basically like 15 years later what they were all
they
doing.
tried at that 80s show and it fucking flopped.
Well, it wasn't even the same people.
Oh, I know. That's the main reason it did. If it would have been Red and Kitty again, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
You know?
And, you can watch all those episodes on YouTube.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And I just can't because
I
I've tried. I
tried.
can't do it. They're just very bad.
They are.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's the podcast.
It does seem like about time to a natural stopping point. We'd like to
yes.
wrap up.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we're also kind of all losing energy about now.
Losing momentum.
Can't stand each other at this point.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah. We gotta get the fuck out of here.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. There's no one listening.
Yeah. We'll never be anyone.